Well, good morning from the car again. It's Sunday, August 23rd. We have taken refuge in the car against the midges. We've not had to deal with them the whole trip, and they are here in Sky, and they are in full force. Let me show you the view. So that's the view that we have this morning. Lovely. And we got some midges in the car too. And then there's our little pod, and you can kind of see the midges flying around. So hopefully this is not what the day portends for us. My midge net is in the pod, and I don't think I'm brave enough to go back in and brave the midges. So we'll see. I could regret this. All right, we are at a little coffee place called Lean-To Coffee, and they have delicious, you can't really see, but really good stuff. And no midges in here because they have the fans. Midges don't like wind, so they blow away. So hopefully they'll blow away. All right, well, we stopped once again at the Isle of Skye Candle Company to use the restrooms because we are going to do the drive around the Trotternish Peninsula. And there are very few restrooms there, or they're few and far between. So I am fortified with some coffee, a scone, and we're ready to explore. All right, we have started our journey around the Trotternish Peninsula, and we've got this lovely waterfall and telephone lines and cows and a great view of the Old Man of Storr in amongst the telephone lines. But it's the view we have. I am not going to climb up. Oh. I think that one cow is a Highland coo. It is. Highland coo in the wild, not the black one. Anyway, so there's the Old Man of Storr. All right, we have arrived at the parking lot for the Old Man of Storr. It is packed. I mean, everyone on Skye is here. This is just one part of the parking lot down there. It's crazy. So unfortunately, I have to walk up this path to get a good view of the rocks. But that's okay. It's about about 40 minutes. 40 minutes up to the top. And then another 25 down. So here's a little thing about the rock. Oh, it was really windy up at the top. So here we go. The mountains are calling and I must go, but I went 10 minutes and I turned around. So there we go. I am headed for the restrooms, but just to show you, the sun is out and it's wonderful. Well, all right. We are continuing around the Trotternish Peninsula, and yeah, I'm very frustrated. I couldn't hike up there. I mean, I couldn't have done it if I wanted to. I would die. But it's nice that there's blue sky. Let me show you. And I'm doing magnify back and forth. Am I making me seasick? Bye, old man. And here's our little parking area. I honestly don't know why people are here. Other than it's a beautiful view. You can take selfies by the water. Maybe just the old man with the sunshine, which is lovely. That's actually not a bad view. Yeah, there you go again. I'm going to show you the old man again, whether you want to see it or not. I'm obsessed with the old man. All right, so I walked to the edge. I don't do this lightly. That's interesting. Down here, it looks like remains of something. But there are sheep down there. And there's also sheep just chilling. then this is the coast. I'm glad I walked to the edge. It's not normally something I do. All right, we have made another stop. We are at Leith Falls. I think it's called Leith Falls. And there's a little projection. We can stand up and see the falls. All right, and these are the falls. Let's see if I can get a little, and they go on down. All right, there they are. They go down. There's a little side falls, and they head on down. And there is another viewing platform there, but we probably won't go there. And I don't know what those people are doing right there. Wow, down at the bottom. All right, we got rain. I think it's coming our way. But there's blue sky this way. We have stopped at Kilt Rock. So we're gonna check out Kilt Rock. Those are Kilt rocks, and they're supposed to be, oh, there's the waterfall. Oops, sorry about the finger. There's a waterfall right there. That's pretty cool. And this is at the other end of the parking lot. And I do love the rock formations. No rain yet. Well, this is pretty cool. Lots of dinosaur remains have been found in this area. And giant footprints that have been covered by sand and then turned into rock. And there are the replicas of the footprints. They're down by the beach, I believe. All right, we went up this single track road that you would not believe. It was the worst one we've been on. To get to this area, it's called Quiraing. And I think I'm gonna try to go up that hill. I've got 10 minutes. All right, Quiraing, round fold from Norse. And then here's the view up here. Geez, what I won't do for a view. It's crazy. And there's paths. You can see people way up there. This is as far as I'm going. And this is what it looks like. Wow. And here's the view around. And this, again, nuts on a single track road. Oh my gosh. we may not make it down. And there's the parking lot. All these crazy people drove up here like we did. All right, we have stopped. I was gonna try to get the sheep again, but then a car came. But I just wanted to show you how beautiful the heather is. It's like so purple. And there's different types of heathers. And we have blue sky. And this is the other side of the road. The way these cliffs are just sheared off. Yeah. All right, we have, as Chip said, sheep butts. He was on the road. Let's see, let's go up a little. How do they get out of their little pens? Close up of a sheep eating. So we have pulled over into a passing place. I don't know if the sun is shining. It's beautiful. I don't know if you can tell how blue the water is, but it's incredibly like azure, I guess. And I think they said you can see some of the Outer Hebrides Islands from here. And I love the White Houses. Okay, we have made it to the very end of the Trotternish Peninsula. There is some ruins up this way, beyond the coffee castle ruins. I might walk up there and take a quick picture. And I really hoped for sunny weather, but I honestly wasn't Didn't think we'd get any, so I'm really thrilled with the sunshine. Oh, we got some rams who were kind of getting it. Oh no, I guess they weren't. Wow. They're just like down over the side of the hill. Here we are after this is a plaque, a commemorative marker to commemorate the MacArthurs, who were the hereditary pipers of the MacDonalds. So interesting, and we are at the castle. All right, I have scurried up the ruins. Here's the panorama, and there's the basement. I'm not going down there. All right, this is the road we came on, and back of those white houses, and the view was so beautiful, but there was no place to stop. So I had to scurry up rocks. And this is a museum of what life was like on Skye and how people lived. But it's Sunday, and it's closed on Sunday. And I have a feeling that the power line was not here. And then we've got some Aberdeen Angus. And my obsession with sheep continues. But there are lambs. There's a little lamb. I looked. He is breathing. And there's another little lamb. They're like little black-faced sheep. They're so cute. All right. So this is the resting place of Flora MacDonald. Yeah, she's the one who helped Bonnie Prince Charlie escape, dressed as her maid. They came to Skye, and he eventually sailed to France, and she actually emigrated with her husband and 7 children to North Carolina around the time of the American Revolution. But they came back to Skye, and she died here. According to the Dunvegan Castle, she lived there until she died, but I don't know if that's what this says. But anyway, so that's her memorial. And this is a beautiful wild fuchsia bush. It's just gorgeous. And the scenery, oh my. All right, we have arrived at yet another location on the Truddernish Peninsula, a very well-visited place. So yesterday we went to the fairy pools, and that was quite a harrowing drive. Today we're going to the Fairy Glen. And the drive to the Fairy Glen was also on a hairy one-track road, but it was much shorter than the one we did earlier today, and much shorter than the one to the fairy pools. That was really long and challenging. The one earlier to Quiraing was really challenging. You can see the interesting landscape has these kind of ripple things. Oops. And we are headed this way. And that thing on top where people have scurried up, not me, is, they say, the Carey Castle. It's been a long day. The Fairy Castle. You could kind of see, Fairy Glen. Look at it. It is kind of mystical looking, with these white rocks. Oh, very pretty. Okay, I've climbed up on this sort of plateau, which obviously sheep have been up here. You can see they've left all their little markings there. But this is a really good view of the Fairy Glen. We have successfully made it down from the Fairy Glen, and Now we're going into the Isle of Skye Brewing Company. I'm very excited. So this is across from Skye Brewing. It's a ferry terminal, and it's the only place for miles and miles and miles and miles and miles that has a public bathroom. But I love the scenery. The cliffs with the homes on them, and the two guys standing there. All right, we are heading back to the area our B&B is, so we have said goodbye to Portree, but the afternoon has continued to be just spectacular. Yeah, this is on the other side of the road, and this is that. Oh. All right, we have stopped. I'm parked at an inn that I don't think I'm supposed to be parked at, but Chip's hanging in the car. This is the old stone bridge of, starts with an S. I'm not sure what it is, but it's another one of those must-see sites in Skye. And it is beautiful. And this is kind of from the other side of the bridge. And I'm going to look up and see who these guys are, but again, we're not supposed to be parked where we're parked, so I want to get back pretty quickly. But there are two statues. So we'll figure out who they are later. And there's what the bridge looks like. I'm scampering over the rocks. And you can see there's like these little waterfalls. It's incredibly charming. Okay, this mountain is called Glen, and it is the result of volcanic activity. There is a caldera there. So that's pretty cool. Okay, so dinner tonight is at the Harbor Restaurant. I got the scallops with mushy peas, and Chip got the pork, and the presentation is lovely. Well, evidently, the breeze is blowing too hard, and it's a little cooler than it was last night, and the midges are not happy with it, so they're not here. So that's our booties. That's our little pod, and really spectacular view tonight.